when you're walking and you're in this position, and you're placing your foot down right here, and you're about to lift this foot off the ground, your body weight cannot stay here. Your body weight needs to shift over that support leg. The problem being is that if you shift too much, maybe a very sexy walk, but if you shift too much, you're creating a deviation in the load coming through the femur as it articulates with the tibia. And it puts a lot of stress in this direction, which runs through the MCL and the ACL. And so the role of this muscle, primarily the glute medius, is to decelerate how much of that hip abduction you have. So really the role of this muscle is less of what you see in the gym. So what do we see in the gym? People doing a lot of these exercises where the leg is taken out to the side. Motions like this. So we have the rubber bands around our legs and we kind of move across the gym floor. We sit in the machines, we do that. We take a cable, we move it across our body. We are doing what we call concentric acceleration. That is not the true functional movement of this muscle. It is in fact the exact opposite. It is an eccentric, being lengthened, decelerator. And that happens with every step you take. So what we need to do is to train this muscle to actually function at capacity. The easiest way to do it is to start with your feet together, right? And to load that hip. The reason I take you to hip hinge is because it's very difficult to load the glute medius, the hip abductors, when you are in a upright position. So if I take you to a hinge and say load that right hip, then you can actually feel it engaging, and then we stand up. Right, so I typically tell people heel off, toe off, and that's called double extension, extending the knee and the hip. And I simply have you do some swings. I'm mimicking the walking pattern. I'm just teaching you how to hold that muscle in a very stable position. Try and prevent that from happening. There should be minimal movement of no more than 1 to 2 inches. So we're going to start by just loading, heel, toe, double extension, leg swing, right? And then in life, there are times where we're not just swinging a leg under our hips. We have a foot that's planted and we have to move the hips over that leg. So we're going to do what I call a hip driver. So let's go back to that position right here. We load the opposite leg right now. Load that. Heel, toe up. Now instead of swinging the legs, what we're going to do is drive our body. You can bring your hands into this and get a little bit of a fun exercise into this. And the idea is just keeping that foot firmly planted on the ground and driving. You're training these muscles to destabilize it. If you move here, look at your hip joint, this muscle that we're talking about is actually in a shortened position. So it is not actually doing its job. But if I come here, it is now having to decelerate. So the exercise is actually not this and then release, but it's the exact opposite. We get here to start the exercise. The exercise is now what? Side, to get to that position, to decelerate, and then control that one in. Set it, side, control it in. We're going back, set it, control, bring it in. Set it, control, bring it in.